Guys, hello and welcome back. I'm Jojo Fraser. It's time for a mojo injection, episode 138. I'm so glad to have you here. Boom, bang, bosh. And this week it's all about reminding you it's never too late, you still got time. Labels can put us off, age can put us off, expectations of others, fear can put us off. But if you've got something you really want to do, and we're talking about that gut feeling and that intuition, then my amazing guest Anne Jones will tell you how it is. And Anne is in her mid-70s and she's doing incredible things. And just listen to these words.
Well, the way I see it is, there's nothing more exciting than getting your teeth into a new project of some kind. Whatever it is, maybe it's redo your garden. So it may be go on a journey, go on a round the world trip, or it may be write that book that you never had time for before. Do it now. Do it right now. My mother gave me good advice. She said, as you get older, bits start not working so well. Make the most of your health and make the most of your bright mind. Just do it. Just get on with whatever you want to do and do it.
Yes, just get on and just do it. So if this episode can encourage you to just do it and to push that fear aside, this season is all about kind of self-love and challenging those kind of critical thoughts that we all get. And I really, really hope it encourages you to follow that gut. And we talk a little bit about intuition. So Anne Jones is just such a wonderful person. And, she decided mid-70s that it's not a time to stop following your dream. So she explains the story about how a little red book sparked the idea to write a musical, and the story behind Artaban, which will be in the West End, a rock musical in London in November. And I'll put all the details in the show notes. And we just talk about all this and the kind of journey and the experience. And yeah, it's just really been a bit of a shake-up and a reminder that, as Anne said, you learn so much from just jumping into something, right? Even if it's totally out of your comfort zone. She's been so uplifted and enriched from doing this. And, recommending a new challenge, whatever your age, should involve. And also what she's saying about the team around you. When we get other people in on our plans and dreams, when we ask for help, when we can kind of push the ego aside and do that, it's an amazing thing. So if you're in London or you're planning to go there, I'll put all the details about Artaban The Musical in the show notes. And its debut is in Covent Garden this November. So yeah, check that out, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Let's get Anne on, and also we'll give you a little sneak preview of some of the music at the end. Let's do it. Okay, Anne, welcome to Time for a Mojo Injection. It's really lovely to have you here today.
Thank you, Jojo. I'm looking forward to our chat.
Oh, well, I'm really inspired, and when I was sort of having a read about the musical Artaban and, how you guys obviously got the idea with the little red book and stuff, and talk to us about it, because obviously you're living a really interesting life, and we can sort of speak about that too. How did it kick off from this little red book to kind of launching a proper rock musical?
I know it's a great journey. I know this is an overused word, journey, but it really has been a journey for us. I have a friend who I've been friends with since I was 11, and she does a lot of amateur dramatics, and she belongs to the Methodist Church, and she puts on shows for the church. And one day, one of the congregation came up and thrust this little book at her and said, "You'll know what to do with this, Daphne," which is a bit of a sort of like I got a loaded thing to say in a way. It's sort of quite exciting. She read it and immediately she felt, oh my God, I love this story. And the book was The Other Wise Man. Now, this isn't a story of a religion, really. This is a story of the one wise man, the fourth Magi who didn't make it to Bethlehem. And the book is about his journey, his quest to reach Bethlehem. He had been part of the group of Zoroastrians who were watching the skies for a prophesied sign, you know. Well, I love signs. I look for symbols in my life anyway, and I teach people to look for, you know, messages that come to you through the happen, chance, and synchronicity. So I, when Daphne passed me this book, and I read about this guy called Artaban, who was devastated because he missed going and meeting Jesus simply because he had been sidetracked by helping someone. And that sort of touched my heart. I thought, you know, how many of us go through that situation where we're you know, we're set on doing something in our lives, but something comes up. And I mean, I think the first thing I think about is mothers with children who put their dreams to one side to sort of work on their family and look after their family rather than follow their dream. And this is the story of Artaban all the way through. And anyway, I read it, and as I read this book, I thought, oh my God, this is a fantastic story. It's so right for now. That Artaban was at a time when things were really bad in the world, but and I think they call it corruption in those days. Well, there's a lot of corruption in our world now, and there's a lot of despair. And Artaban saw this new king coming as a solution to the problems. Anyway, as I was reading all this, I was getting very excited about the story, but I also, this is the key thing really, I saw it being performed on a stage, and I thought, this is a musical. You know how some things hit you in life, and as I was reading it, I thought, oh my God, we've got to make this into a musical. Now, I have to tell you that I've never had anything to do with music ever, apart from trying to learn the flute unsuccessfully. And perhaps when I was at school, unsuccessfully trying to play the clarinet. But what Daphne and I decided to do was she would write the script, stage script, and I would write the words of the songs. And I was able in that to put into those songs some of my own beliefs and feelings, which relate to the story, but also relate to things that have happened in my life. For example, the love story, there's always has to be a love story. We actually added a bit more to Henry van Dyke wrote the book over 100 years ago in America. And it's quite a popular story in America, I have to say. Anyway, he wrote it 100 years ago, but he didn't put a love story in. And when Daphne and I were looking at this, I said, you know, we have to squeeze a love story in here and make it a little bit more emotional. And we also played up the part of Herod in the story. So we had the good and the evil, the bad and, you know, the bad guy and the good guy. Which I think really helps to make these things move along and give it a bit. And there's a bit of you know, there's a lot of tension in it because he's always trying to get there and something seems to be stopping him all the way. Anyway, the love story, when I wrote the song, "A Love Goes On Forever," I was thinking of my own situation as well as Artaban. Artaban and Esther are in love. She's an escaped slave from Herod. She meets up with Artaban and she goes on the journey with him. But once he reaches a certain point, he realizes he's not going to be able to give her what she would need as a woman, a settled life, you know, to marry and have children and so on. So he breaks up the relationship, not because he doesn't love her, but because he doesn't feel that it's right. And so there's a love song there. And Love Goes On Forever is about the way, even though we're separated, we can still hold the love. I thought about my own situation, because I met my husband when we were in our 20s and we couldn't get together then. And we met together again 15 years later. And we'll now be married 30 odd years. So I'm quite old now.
Oh.
And the same thing happened to Artaban. They split up, and then without giving too much of the story away, they do meet up again. So I was able to put the feelings that I felt into the song, and that happened a lot with this with the show. Daphne and I managed to get this going fairly easily to start with, in the sense that we could see how it could split into scenes, and we put what songs would go in where. But the thing that we were missing was somebody to write the music.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the big quest for us then, to find somebody to be sympathetic to the story, gel with us, you know, and to make the team, and do the sort of music that we would enjoy and would be ideal for the stage. And that journey of ours, from the time we started to set up the idea, was at least 3 or 4 years. And then we had sort of things that happened. You think you've found the answer, and blow me, it didn't quite kick off, because I'm in Mind, Body and Spirit world, and I was at the Mind, Body and Spirit show, and next to us was a stand, and somebody came over and said, do you know that lady on the stand, she was with Boney M. Now, Boney M's my era, you know, and oh God, wouldn't it be fantastic if I could get her to write the music for Artaban? So I went up to her and I told her about the story. She said, oh my God, that's fantastic. That I really resonate with that story. She gave me details, and we swapped emails, but nothing happened. And again, there were a few false starts like that. And so it went on until about 5 or 6 years ago. A girlfriend of mine who I've known for quite some time was telling me about her new man, and she's telling me, you must meet him, must meet up, well, sure, we'll get on together well. For some reason or another, it didn't happen. And then one day we actually got together. They came over to us for a dinner party, and then we found out that he was a rock guitarist in a group, and he wrote music. And I started thinking, oh God, I wonder. And I heard some of his stuff. And so I said to him, how do you fancy writing the music for musical? And he looked at me as if I was talking another language. He said, I'm a rock guitarist, I don't write musicals. And I said, we wanted sort of lutes and Middle Eastern music. And he said, oh, that's not going to happen. So anyway, I said, well, let's give it a try. So he said, okay, well, look, he said, I love the story. It touches my soul. It's just such a heartful story. All the things that Artaban does, and how he keeps being stopped on his quest and doesn't actually meet up with Jesus until at the time of the crucifixion. So there's a whole big, setbacks and difficulties and overcoming them and getting there. So he said that really touches my heart. And anyway, I wrote the first song and I sent it over to him. He said, just tell me what mood you want, what energy you want around it. So I told him the opening song, which is where these Zoroastrians are praying to their God, and their God is the God of light, which I quite enjoy that anyway, and that is Mazda. So the first song is Mazda, and it's a really rousing song. I wrote the words, sent it over to him. I said, this is to be an uplifting number, so starting quiet and then becoming uplifting as the plea for a sign to help them get out of the mess the world's in. And anyway, we, in a nanosecond, it seemed to me, I think it was probably the next day, he got back to me and said, I've written something, I've done something, do you want to come over and hear it? And what he'd done, he'd gone to bed with the words that I'd written, and in the night, he'd suddenly woken up and he got these riffs and tunes coming into his head. And he went down to his garage, which is where he has recording equipment, and he sat there, and he said it was freezing cold, so he had to sit on a radiator, and he managed to put this music together. And when we heard it, I mean, we were blown away, absolutely blown away. And then Rick, his name's Rick Bradley, and we've written 19 songs between us. And some of them are ballads, some of them are soulful, and some of them are rock, good old rock and roll, you know. So that's where we're at. We're at now the point, we've had, I mean, everybody who does this route of putting on musicals or plays or anything like this, even writing a book, you know, there's always setbacks. We tried this and we tried that, but we've done a workshop with professional performers to test it out. And now we're doing the showcase, which is the whole show in a simplified version, in the sense that it's on a small stage. But we're having West End performers, which is going to be very exciting. We've got some amazing cast coming in. We're just at the point of offering them contracts. So we're getting very close now. Then we start rehearsals in a few weeks, and we're putting it on in November in Covent Garden. So this is like, oh my goodness, is this really happening stage for us now? We're sort of
it's a dream come true, isn't it? And
absolutely.
There'll be a lot of people, like I meet a lot of people, and they're like, oh, can't do that now, can't do that now. Now, my mum's sort of early 70s, and I see that as quite young. But I speak to some people in their 70s, and they're like, no. And I don't know if they're hardened or afraid to follow their dreams, but I think it's so inspirational that you guys are going for that. I mean, what would you say to people that are, you know, they focus on the wrong stuff, like numbers, your age, your, you know, the barrier?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the way I see it is, you know, there's nothing more exciting than getting your teeth into a new project of some kind. Whatever it is, maybe it's redo your garden, sort of, it may be go on a journey, go on a round the world trip, or it may be write that book that you never had time for before. Do it now, do it right now. You know, my mother gave me good advice. She said, you know, as you get older, bits start not working so well. Make the most of your health and make the most of your bright mind. Just do it. Just get on with whatever you want to do and do it. Don't ever put it off. And this is the thing with us. Although it's taken quite a while to do it, we've thrown ourselves into it full-heartedly, and it's so exhilarating, so uplifting. You know. Just, I mean, whenever we meet people, go, what we're doing is a musical. Oh God. What experience have you had? None. It just doesn't matter. We've got professional advice in, we've got professional performers, and so we've got a great musical director. So we've got the bits that we can't do, we get people in to do it. So yeah, whatever you want to do it, whatever dream you've got, get on and do it. And then don't let age stop you. Oh my goodness, no, don't let age stop you. That's the last thing. I mean, sometimes you have to put your family first when you're younger, but I don't think you should always do that totally. I mean, there's always a compromise. Mm-hmm. I've got a friend who, she gets up at sort of 4 a.m. to do her job, which is PR, and she loves what she does, but she can't do it when the children are around, so she does it before the children get up. And then when they go to bed early, she has an early bed, and she has a snooze in the afternoon when they have a snooze. So she sort of has worked it, and I think I've always done that in my life. You know, I've always found ways to do the things I want to do without hurting others.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. There's always a way, and it's just perhaps asking for help, or as you say, fitting in things around small kids when you can have a nap, and it's very much a team effort when we sort of call on others to, it's amazing what we can achieve, right?
Yeah, and then everybody gets fulfilled. I mean, there's nothing more fulfilling than actually doing something that comes straight from the heart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this isn't, everything we've done is from the heart, in as much as we put heart and soul into the work. We've done the very best we can, and we put our feelings in, and that gives it another level of upliftment, I guess. But as I said, whatever anybody wants to do, I mean, starting a new hobby, learning to do something different, go on a course. I was in the hospital this weekend because I'd had a little bit of a health problem, and I was talking to a nurse. I called it corridor ward, because you know how it is in the NHS at the moment. I was stuck in a corridor waiting to be seen, and I was talking to the nurse, and I was saying what we were doing. We were just chatting about it, and she said, "Oh, I've just started to be a nurse," and she's in her 50s, and she's decided, right, I want to do something. I want to help. I want to give something. I want to do something. So she's enrolled to be a nurse, and you have to go to university now to do that. She's fine. She said she's done her training period. Now she's going, I think they do some college and something else. I don't know. I didn't go into details, but it's big endeavor for her. But she was sparkling, She was so excited about the fact that she'd taken her life firmly in her own hands and said, right, I'm in charge now. I'm going to do something. She was very inspiring.
Oh, that's amazing.
Of all the nurses there, she was one of the happiest, I think.
Yeah, because she'd gone for it. And I mean, do you find with the kind of, you were talking about intuition as well, or signs, do you find that kind of helps you then to follow the right path, things that really strike a chord with your heart and soul?
Yeah, when I talk about the whooshes that I get, as a healer, when I'm talking to a client, I say, we start looking for the root cause of their problem. And when I hit upon the root cause of their problem, I get a whoosh. I feel an energy charge comes through me. Mm-hmm. It's a similar thing to the ring of truth that people talk about, where they feel it around their clavicle. Other people feel it but get warm. Mm-hmm. I get this whooshy feeling come over me. So I know when I'm on the right track in that sense. I always say to people, if you're going to try and manifest something, talk it over with a friend, a good supportive friend, and see how it sounds as you speak it. Mm-hmm. And you can hear in your voice whether this is something that is true to you, or something you're unsure about, or whether it's somebody else's idea that you've taken up on that's not really what you want. There's a tone in a voice when someone's saying what they really want to do. And then also, a bit more spooky, I suppose, is that whenever I go walking out with the dogs and I'm planning something, I look around and I see the white feathers on the ground. I know that's going to be a good sign. Even my husband will see the white feathers now. I say, we're choosing some member of the cast, or we're choosing where we're going to put the show on, all the big decisions we've made. I've always seen signs there to tell me that, that's the right thing.
Wow.
And that feeling you get, when you're doing something that's really right for you, you've become energized by it. Mm-hmm. You get that resonance through you. You get a good feel. When it's not right, you get what I call the little worm in the stomach. Mm-hmm. That little worm that goes twiddle around there. You think, oh, I don't know, this is not sure about this. It's always quick trouble. The fear, of course, is it a fear, or is it a warning that it's not right for you. But if it's, I mean, we could have been fearful of putting on a musical, but we didn't actually pick that up. I don't think I picked up fear at all at that stage. Yeah, of course, you worry about whether it's going to be a success or not. But even that, I'm more concerned about doing it. And everybody who's seen anything of it, when we did the workshop, we had everybody up on their feet dancing. It was such a vibrant response that we've played the music to many people. Music's on our website, by the way. So we've got the website, Artaban The Musical.co.uk. Anybody wants to hear the music, they can go onto the website.
Oh, amazing. I'll put all the details in the show notes and on my blog as well. And so do you have a favourite song?
Oh, what's my favourite song? Well, I love Love Goes On Forever. That's one of my favourites. Let me think. Hero. Hero's a lovely song. It's a duet, and Artaban has 3 gemstones, which were his gift for Jesus, and he had to give up one to get his own caravan because he was delayed helping somebody, and then he helped rescue a baby boy who was about to be killed by Herod's men, and the mother. She was just like, oh my God, you're the most amazing man. You've done the most amazing thing for me. But he felt guilty because he'd used to bribe the captain of the guard not to kill the little boy. He'd used one of the gemstones. And he felt guilty because that was his gift to the new king, and he felt he'd given that away. So he felt guilty. He'd lied to the guard, and he'd used corruption in the sense that he bribed him. So he was such a good man, and he felt really bad about that. So he was in the song, it's about him feeling that he's failed and that he's a failure, and then this girl singing that to her he's a hero. And Esther sings as well that she sees a man of love and a wonderful man and is a hero. And I love that song. I love the whole theme of it because it resonates with me that there's a lot of men who feel a failure for one reason or another, you know, especially, you know, we talk about them coming back from in the army. When they come back from overseas postings, they feel bad that things have happened that they've seen and got involved in, and they feel bad about it, and other people see them as heroes. So it's that support of others when you're feeling down, the other people that lift you up, and hope to change your perception of yourself when you doubt yourself, when you feel that you failed. Anyway, that's one of the songs I love too.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Well, I'm going to put them on and dance around my kitchen, and I'm really excited for you. So please come on after the show and let us know how it goes, and obviously we can talk about your book that you're planning to launch and everything too. Love to know more about that.
Great.
It's
a long way for you to come down from Edinburgh, so I'm not expecting you to make the journey, Jojo. Yeah. Any of your listeners who want to join us, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, maybe I should plan a trip down that way. I mean, it's good to break free from the norm, and as things are all opening back up, it's good to sort of get on with living again in different ways, isn't it?
It is. I've got one of my clients who's coming over from Norway, and locally, my group here that I run, they're putting together a bus to go up to London because the lights are on. Then it's, you know, they're booking to go to the Ivy for a lunch, and then they're going to the matinee. Yeah.
How lovely. Oh, that's so exciting. And all because you kind of pushed the fear aside, you know, went with your heart and soul, and, you know, the whole thing I've taught you so much, and no regrets, right?
Absolutely no regrets. Learned a lot. And the love in a group, doing something in a group. I'm a bit of a loner normally because I do my work on my own, but to work in a group, that's been special too.
It's so important, isn't it? And to have that sort of community as well. So oh, well, thank you so much for chatting to us today, and it's really inspirational, and yeah, you've definitely encouraged me to keep pushing my dreams, and as you say, follow the heart and soul. That's where the magic is, right?
Definitely. Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it. I love it. I loved that chat with Anne. Here's a little sneak preview. This one is I See a Hero. Seen to live in high virtue, but I am not what I seem to be. There's another side, another me, and underneath a different sight. I've wandered from my path of light. I've lied and used deception too. This smiling face I show to you. I cannot keep my pledge to serve. Your love I no longer deserve. The man I see is standing tall. Your actions hold me in great thrall. In every step your spirit flows. Your tender nature truly shows. To give yourself your life you share. Yet you are filled with such despair. And I see a hero. I see a hero. That is beautiful. I've had a wee sneak preview of some of the music and it's fab. So guys, massive shout out. All the best with the show, and well done for following your dreams. It's truly amazing. Mwah. See you next week, guys.